Hello, my name's Lance. Thanks for watching my channel today. I do appreciate it. And today I'm going to do a video. This video is it's going to be a painting for anybody that wants to learn how to paint for the first time, or if maybe you've painted already. It'll just give you some ideas and some techniques you can use. You can do it just by watching the video. You do it from home. You don't have to go down and take art lessons somewhere, which you can. That's okay, but this will give you some more flexibility. And this is a basic painting. This is just for beginners, and it's how you start out. It'll show you maybe some success so you really can have some fun and like what you're doing. Thanks for watching the channel. I appreciate it. Maybe if you're looking to do something different or paint or learn to paint, you're bored, painting will keep you pretty busy if you really want to. Don't get too excited about I'm not doing that great the first time. Don't worry about selling paintings, but if you're looking for something to do, a hobby and something to keep you occupied, and this is pretty simple, and you can get art supplies very cheap, and it's a very inexpensive hobby. So as you work at it, you may get better, and you will get better if you put the time in, and maybe at some point you'll be able to start selling paintings or whatever you need to do. So without any more yap, let's get started. I'm going to move the camera over. Here is what I'm going to show you. I've got a canvas here, and I've started out. I've reused it, but it's still a little wet, and I'm just going to take some of this white. This is just a white medium. It's very simple. If you ever watch Bob Ross, it's called liquid white, but you can get it at different art stores. We're going to come in here and we're going to put this on there. It's not going to be pure white at all, but there's all the other. And you can reuse canvases as you practice. When you're done, you can scrape the paint off, then wipe it off with a knife. Maybe something like this works good. And then you can come back in and just throw in some chunks here. And you don't want a ton of this on there. You got to use it sparingly. It might look like I'm using a lot, but hopefully I'm not. Let's see here. Okay. And you can always wipe it off too. This stuff isn't too expensive. I don't know, you get a big jar of it at the art stores. If you can't, and you're not sure what you're looking for, just ask for like a liquid white. It's just an oil base, but it's super thin. So it makes it, starting out, it's much easier having your canvas wet than dry. Okay. Then I'm just going to take, and this is a 99-cent brush I like to use. When it comes to super blending, I don't use it because it's just not, but for applying this kind of stuff, it works good. Okay, and we might use it again, and I just use a rack with a paper towel holder on it. Okay, and then I'm going to come in, and one thing you can do is you take your finger tap. That's not bad. You can see through it. That's okay. So it's a little thicker than you want. That's not bad. Let's try this. So you can take a shop rag if you want and wipe it off. Let's go back over it. There'll be plenty on there for what you need. You can also clean your brush off and use it. Let's try the old finger test again. That's better. A little thinner. And the sky is really important because if you're doing the sky, you want to be able to blend it better. Down here, if you don't have water, you really don't need it in the bottom. You can have a little bit on, or you can use a clear medium that's going to be just as good too. So I'll go through some colors, but you can use whatever colors you want. Doesn't matter. I've started using, this is like I'll go through them really quick here. This is this color here is a blue-green, no, a gray-green. I'm going to use that for my distant mountains. I'm going to add a little of this cerulean blue. That is Prussian blue. It's dark. I'll show you why I have that on there. This is just some raw umber. It's just dark brown. It's a brown, red, crimson. What the heck is that one? That's sap green, and that's phthalo green. Yellow ochre. That's burnt sienna. I put some gray on here but I think I'm going to use this instead. I just bought that at the store. It's, like I said, it's called a gray-green. $1. I got this at the store. I don't know which one. $1.49. It was on reduced, so I bought it. So you got a nice little. Can't beat that price. And keep in mind, we're not doing masterpieces. We're learning how to paint. So, but what I'm going to do is, for now, I've been using the cerulean blue. It never used it much. I always like phthalo, but I'm just going to get a little bit on the brush. And you can use this white brush because the brush, it's dirty already because it's just going to mix, but you can start in the middle or on the outside. I would suggest starting in the corners, going back and forth like this. And all you're going to do as you do this, okay, grab a little more. I showed you I'll go back and forth to the palette, but go over here, okay, and then work your way down and to the horizon, okay. And I'm just going back and forth or crisscross, it doesn't matter. Now as you get closer to the horizon, there's not as much paint on the brush, or you can go lighter, and you want it to get lighter. You don't want the horizon right in the middle, so we're gonna take, and we can kind of, we'll figure it out here, okay. Maybe we'll do that, and that's it. So a little bit lighter on the bottom, and I'll show you why I have the Prussian blue on there too. I'm gonna walk and look here, and the video looks pretty good. It looks like it's focused in there pretty good. Once I do that, I can also come back and refocus it for what we need. Okay, there, and then down below, I'm gonna have some water in some areas, so I'm just gonna go right here. I'm just go side to side, and then whatever you don't want with water, and that automatically matches the sky. Nice. And you can come in and add a little bit of touch of green to that if you want. Not much. Maybe I just grabbed a little phthalo green. You can come in here. And you don't want too much. Well, there's your water. Okay? I'm just going to kind of go there. Then there'll be little areas we won't use it. Maybe it'll come over here a little bit. Seeing with water, you can pull from the outside. You just don't, you got to be careful. You don't want these sharp lines in it, okay? There, so there's your water that you can have in this painting. Kind of, okay? All right, now, I'm just going to grab another brush here. I'm busy today. So I'm just going to grab this is just a 1-inch. You can use one of these too, but they're all dirty. I don't know where. So I do have another one over there, but this one's here is a 1-inch brush, and it's just a bristle brush, and I'm just going to blend all this out. So I'm going to start here. I'm just going to go back and forth, start in the lightest area, okay, and work your way out. Okay, how's that look? Back and forth. See my strokes up and down. You got a little bit of stuff going on in the sky, that's okay. Okay. There, and go across. Okay. Not too bad. There's no yellow down here, and I'm not going to do that. You start putting yellow against blue, you're going to get green, because that's what it makes. So a lot of times if we use yellow, we'll put crimson around it, because that'll protect it. And that's sometimes how the colors look. You can have a little purple in there if you wanted. I think I do have a little purple on my palette still, and then down here we're just going to blend it this way. And you want a clean brush, but you see that? Kind of blend them. Don't worry about this area in the middle, because I'm going to have some mountains in there. I'm just going side to side. So you have your sky, your water, and that looks good. Now, I'm going to grab a little bit of, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to take a little bit of this Prussian blue I told you about. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Just a little bit. I'm just tapping it a little bit like this. Just pull a little bit out and just kind of, just want a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. And then come up to the corners. And this looks pretty good, but if you darken those corners a little bit, get a little more on there. Okay. Come up and darken these corners a little bit. We'll kind of give it more depth. Remember, you want it to be darker, going to the horizon, which would be right down here somewhere. So see, those are a little darker, and that gives it a little more depth. Kind of makes it look like it's getting farther away. It's easy to do. And you don't have to, you can blend that. And a lot of times, if you want to get the brush strokes out, you can just come back and forth with another brush here. We'll use this one, and I'm just going to come across and just go like this. It takes the brush strokes out. Okay. If you get a hair, just leave it in there. You can get it later. You start grabbing stuff with your finger. Watch. See what's going to happen. So just leave it, and we'll get it later. And you can use a pair of tweezers or just take one of these knives, palette knife, and just go like that. Okay, and you can pull them off later. Okay, so we got that done. I'm going to do a few clouds, and I'm just going to use I think I'm just going to do a little fan brush for them. Easy way to do them. Okay, and I'm just going to come in with this fan brush, and I'm just going to grab some white, maybe put a touch of red in there. Oh, that's a lot of red, but pull it over there. See that? That's okay, not a big deal. These ones will have a little light in them. Okay, and just get a little bit on there. Okay, a little more. And if you get too much, and you get bad, it doesn't matter. We're just showing you technique. So just a little bit on there. Hope you can see that. Okay, put that down. I'm just going to come over and do a few clouds here and there. Okay, and all you want to do with these is we'll just kind of grab the corner and just kind of, you can do it this way and just kind of come in and move the brush around. Okay, grab a little more, and you can just spin it if you want. We're going to kind of, clouds can be difficult if you just don't overdo them and just make them easy. You can mush it around like that. Okay, we'll get a little more over there. Come over this side, and you can go like this, see, and that comes off. And just kind of mush them in. Sometimes they're, when you look at clouds, sometimes they're flat on the bottom. You can pull them out like that. See? Kind of gives you a little, and these are easy. I'm just kind of start at the top. You're going to pick up other colors, so sometimes if your brush gets dirty, then you can just pull it down. Okay? Pull, and maybe it goes that way. Doesn't matter. It don't matter. Now my brush is getting a little more blue on it. So, you can do that there, a few there, and then maybe some down here. I can do one here, maybe just a little. Maybe that comes down. As they get closer to the horizon, they usually get a little more linear. Is that what I'm looking for? See? And you can just make them smaller. Something like that. Keep in mind, we're just trying to, okay? There. So it kind of gives you a little soft sky color. That brush is pretty dirty, so if you're going to try to keep going on your clouds, and this is wet on wet, so we're going to complete this whole painting without letting it dry. You can let your paintings dry, that's okay, but if you're going to use this brush, you can wipe it off with a paper towel and do some more, but for now we won't worry about it. So then I'm going to grab one of these. Okay, this is just a little blender soft oval mop brush. Another one I just picked up at the art store. And some days they have sales and some days they don't. So it's nice to hit the sale. So all I'm going to do is try to soften the cloud a little bit. Okay, kind of start with the bottom. Just kind of, see that? Sets it back. This one here, just go side to side on these. And just kind of, you're kind of turning your brush. Okay, or just kind of soften the bottom. These clouds are not easy. They take some practice. So when you're doing this might be one thing that kind of makes it a little tougher to start with. But if you just practice them all day and scrape them off and go again, they're usually pretty good. So that's all I'm going to do there. Okay, I just use that. And I'm going to wipe that brush off a little bit. And then, good. And then we can come back with this one, this large brush, and you can lightly, if you want to set them in the sky, you lightly just go across them. Okay, see? Okay, wipe it off again. Sometimes you'll pick up a little bit of buildup. That's okay. And then here you can fluff them up a little, and then just, or move that around, I guess. Just lightly go over them. Okay, and then down here, same thing. There, so they're just kind of hanging back there in the distance, floating. Think of them floating when you're painting them. And you can do this brush too if you wanted, because it's rounder and you can make little things. Fan brushes are tougher because they have a point on them, but if you have a big canvas, you can just come in and start smashing and turning, and more different things will happen as far as that goes. So, okay, next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the distant mountains on this thing. So I'm going to take that green I had, I'm going to add a little blue to it. I'm going to add a little bit of brown. Brown's a duller, okay? More of that blue. That looks pretty good. We'll see how it goes. And I'm just going to make some distant little mountains back here. Let's say they start right about... You don't want everything in the middle, but I'm going to just go here. Okay, just kind of making a little shape as you go. You can use a palette knife for this, which is good. Let's grab some more paint, bring that one down there. We can put some more blue in here if we want. That'll make it, you know, distant. Everything distant has blue in it, so there, and that maybe comes down. This is just a ridge, and see how it's kind of not right in the middle. It kind of comes up, and just kind of focus on the outside. And then there's a ridge maybe that comes over here on it. Can't lie, I'm going to do this. This is a painting I'm going to do for a friend. I'm cheating, but I don't want him to know it. This is a practice round. So it's kind of harder than those other peak back there, you know, and that's farther. This is an angle brush. You can use a flat brush or whatever, but that's a good color. See? I think that'll work good. And there's going to be some more distant mountains in the other one, but now the farther away you go, you want it to get lighter. You watch artists, there's a guy, he says when you're, you know, the farther away you go, your lights aren't as light and your darks aren't as dark, okay? So, you know, your whites are more faded as they would be if they're closer. Okay, pull that down and just kind of come in and fill the bottom. And you got to think which way the mountains are going. Okay, so maybe this one comes in front, which it does in the picture I'm using, so we're going to go there. Okay, in the back, you can add a little, and then you can add a little white, make this a little lighter, or a little blue. Okay, and that's going to be our, and that mountain does come that way, so we'll just kind of, okay, do that, and then this is going to be the foreground mountain, and actually this one's going to be in the background too. So this is going to come in front, and this one, these are all kind of together. And I'll show you how we can make that look better very easily. So pretty simple, isn't it? How easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and add a little bit of, I'm going to darken that up a little bit. The foreground mountains, okay? I'll just add some brown to that color. Brown. Okay, a little more, maybe a little Prussian blue in there. See, and there's darkening that color. And then watch how this goes. Other thing you can do is down here, you can just kind of blend that a little bit. Soften it. Because, you know, we can grab some white. I don't want any really a red in there, but see at the bottom there? I'm just putting a little softer so it's misty looking. You can tap it in or whatever. There. You can do that. There. And then come back with that darker, because it's getting closer. You want it darker. Watch this. Dun, 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 dun. See, now it just comes right down, right in front. I've added some blue, Prussian blue in there. It's still pretty dark for as far as it is, but okay, we're going to go over here. And what I want to, the one thing we want to do here is get the layers out. Okay, and I'll get a different brush. I just want to through that. I just want to get these edges down. And over here, you know, there, and you know that one's going to come down and go that way. Okay, over here. Okay, and then just kind of think of the lay of the land, how you want it to go. That kind of goes this way, and you can see that it's pretty. I like that. I want to do this. I want this to kind of go flatter like that. That looks better. Not so steep. You can make noises if you want. Okay, there. So you have your foreground mountains, and you can see the other ones sit back farther. I'm going to add something to it, make it a little cooler. We're going to do another little something right here. There. Just kind of gives a little more. And just, you don't want it to be. Okay, there. Now, keep in mind, we got to figure out, let's say, with this one, we're going to have to find out where, let's say light's shooting from the right today. Okay, so that means the dark stuff will be here on these. And let's say this mountain's going to kind of come this way. Okay, these got some hills and maybe there's some, usually if there's a bump, there's something that, comes in there. And so we're going to just utilize that. When you have bumps, it kind of separates the shades from the shades from where the stuff is. So it's going to be simple. We're just going to lighten up. The light's going to come from this side, right? So I'm going to use that same brush. Actually, it's kind of dirty. I'm going to grab a different one. Try to work. It's a little bigger than I want, but it's just a flat brush. So I'm going to grab some that green. I'm going to grab a little white. I'm going to grab a little yellow ochre. Mix in there with that green we were using for the bright side, and some white. Okay. Some more green. And we're going to come over here and, I don't know, I'm just adding some lighter color. So we want to come over here and highlight this side where the light is. Okay? Okay, and just pull it. Just figure out, there's always going to be light here on this one. You can use a knife on this too, but for this painting, we're going to not. Okay? Get more yellow ochre. And it's green. That looks greeny, blue. There. Pull that down. I'm trying to make it a little brighter, so. And I got yellow ochre, that base color, but when you push this on here, you're going to have some, it's going to mix with what's on there. Don't forget that. Okay? Maybe that guy's going to come down in front of there. See how that goes? And then your light's hitting there. And over here, maybe it's comes down to there. Kind of take the middle of the mountain and break it in half, for starters. And then you can kind of, your mountains will kind of look right. Okay? A little more. I could probably get a little sap green in there too, on the light side. There we go. Greens, you don't want too much green distant, because, and this one here, I might be using something smaller here in a minute. But you got that ridge there, and maybe that ridge comes over a little bit there. See? Watch your angles. Maybe there's another peak there. And then this one here. Another one. See, you just kind of grab where that is and come down. And then go this way. Over here. Same thing. See the little peak? Pull that way. Come down. And there you can pull. You just think of how the mountain is. Yeah, these are pretty, aggressive, but I'm trying to get the mountain in there to look realistic. Okay? I think that looks good. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to come and get this brush here I was using, and we kind of want to take the base of this mountain and kind of blend it down. You want to soften it. Pull that down. Just grab it and pull it. There. And follow your angles. Okay. Over here, just kind of follow your angles. And over here, you're going to have to go that way. Okay. Just pull that way. We just want to kind of pull that down a little bit. And just kind of get your angles in there. Okay. There, and when we're going to come in the other side, and we're going to put some in. I don't want it too bright, but we got to put some other color on the other side. So we'll go back to that fan brush that we were using, and let's see. Good. We'll go back to this other color, and you just for the shadows, and over here you can go over here. You can get a little bit on here too. Maybe some white in there. There's going to be some light on these. Very little though. Just kind of pull that down. Forgot about those. See those? Very light. Remember your lights are but your light's going to strike there, right? Just to see that? Just kind of highlight that side and just throw some color in there. You want that one to be faint, kind of gray looking, isn't it? And that's what you want. Now if you follow and do this exact painting, send it to me if you end up doing it. I want to see a picture of it. Okay, so there we go. We kind of have a basic mountain. Now I'm going to come back and get some blue, some white, and some Prussian blue. Darken. Okay, and we're going to come back to the other side. Okay, get a little brown in there to dull it. We're going to come over. See how this looks. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but and we're going to come here, and you just want to grab the other way and come down. See? Just kind of pull that down. Let it mix. See that ledge maybe comes there. Okay, get some there. This works good, this brush here. Any place you've got some shadows, just pull it down. You can use whatever color you want, but when you're doing these shadows, you know, you get that, you can get some dark in there. But you want to pull them the opposite way. I'm not going to do anything at the far back ones. It helps. It's a little good there. Come here. Maybe there's a little. These are rolling hills in the painting I'm doing, but they're not going to be. They're not rocky. So, but that's how these ones we're going to do today. Okay, and that might come down in front. You know, and just pull those down. Those little dark spots. Maybe there's a few things in there, but for the most part, okay, you can grab, if you want a little darker, you can grab some dark spots like in here. Pull that down on the edge there. Blend them out. There we go. Up there. Okay, there. So that gives you some dimension in your mountains, and they kind of look like mountains or hills or whatever. Okay? Easy. Okay, then you can come back. This brush was a little big that I was using for the highlights. Get some white, maybe a little brown in there too. Okay, all that green. And then come back in here. Maybe you want this one to be a little farther out. Just grab it, pull it down. See, this one might come out here. Just angle it over. And just make another little hill, little piece that comes down. That's how you can do it. Okay? And then we can come back in with this one again and just kind of soften it. At the bottom just to be misty. Okay, and on the other side, even though that's got green on it, I'm not concerned. You know, and over here you can pull that down that way. Pull that way. You can even put them together. You can get darker. You know, a little bit there maybe. See that? You can use a little bit. That dark if you want. So there you got some mountains there. And looks good. Now, what I'm going to do, and I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. We can come in and I'm going to get a fan brush. Take some sap green. Okay. A little bit of sap green there. Okay. Not much. Just pulling it out and tapping it in the brush. I think this will look kind of cool. And we're going to come in and maybe a little bit of other green mixed with it so it's not too light. Because this will pull it forward, and we're just going to start at the bottom here. Watch this. And we're going to, like right here, we're just going to tap. Follow the angles. A little bit there. Okay. Follow it up the angles. Maybe these are little distant trees. See? Follow them up. Follow your angles. Very important. Don't go flat here. You can start low. Kind of come up. This is a bristle brush. So, okay. Just kind of. This will make it look less rocky because they're not rocky. They're pretty. Don't go all the way up. Okay. Just kind of go to there. You can if you want. But you want to keep these. And as it gets to the bottom, it's going to flatten out a little, right? Over here, same thing. And then down. Just kind of follow that down. There. That looks alright. So you got that green, and then you got some trees or whatever. We could green it up more. The little more green you get in there, you can get closer and make them a little darker. It starts to lose distance. Okay, and so that goes there, and then maybe a little bit over here. You know, that can go there. Maybe it comes that way. I don't know. As they get closer. Okay, another thing we want to do after that is just, you can leave them like that, or you can take and pull them up a little, straight up. See? And it makes them look like little trees, just tapping a little bit and pulling up. Don't overdo, but kind of gives them a little indication of, don't overdo it, but that kind of makes them look like, you know, now they've got some cool little trees in there. So feel free to zoom through this. You don't have to take and you don't have to do the entire video, but I'll put some timestamps, video stamps in there. And so, okay, again, we're going to put some trees in. Anytime you want to create some depth or distance, you come in and do this. Okay, kind of follow your angles here. Over here, just kind of soften the bottom and bring it down. Okay, there. So now you got mist. So when you come in and throw in your next layers, it's going to look pretty good. Okay, now we're going to come back in. I'm going to use that same fan brush. I'm going to try to. And I'm going to probably need to mix some color because I'm going to put trees all down here. Okay, so I'm going to take that sap green. I'm going to use it all. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to use that. Maybe a little bit of crimson in there. Crimson and sap green. If you mix them too much, you see that? Just mix them up. Okay. You probably want it more to the crimson side, but here. Right there. And then I'm going to use that. I'm going to throw some more sap green in there too. But what we're going to do with that is we're going to put some foreground trees in. And since the foreground trees are going to be, where's my sap green? There it is. They got to be darker because they're closer. Okay. I'm just going to use this fan brush I had that I used earlier, and then it's going to be easy. So I want this to be simple. So we got that in there. Okay. Dark. You can even get a little of that phthalo green, super dark. Okay. Tap it in. Okay, we're painting over, you know, we're kind of on top of what we're already painting on, so we want to be careful when we're doing that. And so maybe we'll get some trees coming in here. We're just going to start tapping down like this, okay? And see the contrast there? There we go. These are closer, and that being green, it'll make them look fine, okay? More, and sometimes you might need, just kind of want to throw the paint on there. Maybe back here you got some little ones that are distant, a little more distant. You can do it that way, but you know, just kind of throwing them in. Now thinking of how we're going to do this, these are kind of, you know, a little there, there's a little, and the way I want it to go, I'm going to come over here, it's going to kind of come up here, and we'll have some, I don't want to ruin that mountain back there, I want to keep that depth, but you just tap down, okay, you got to have a lot of paint on here, otherwise your brushes ain't going to stick together, and you can use paint thinner, that makes it easier, okay, and just indications, okay, we can come back, and I'm just kind of putting some color in, but see now that depth and that distance that we had looks good. Red in there, or crimson. There. Don't worry about the bottom. Here, you can put those up a little bit. Okay. You got those trees, and you can come in and you can smash down, or you can go this way. Shoot, it don't matter. You know what they are. A lot of times if you look at a nice painting, if they've done such a good job with color and things, you can't even tell. But you can just, you know, I'm just grabbing and going to the side. I'm going down. You got these little ones down here. Okay, now perfectly lined up for if we decide to put some water in here. I think we will, but it's going to be okay. And you can come back and just, you know, there we go, right there, side to side. They're a little bigger, however you want to do them. Okay, I'm going to come over here and throw in a little, maybe there's some land in there. I don't know. We can put water in if you want. Maybe I might change this around. Okay. Remember our water? We can do something there if we want. Or we can just put some green in there. But if we were going to do this as water, which I might, you'll see how it's going to go here. And this one, you can come down here and, you know, at the bottom of this, push up or down. You know, and just, you don't want it going up if there's going to be water there. But for here, I'm going to put some color in there. We're going to do this a little differently. I'm going to kind of make this land. So you're just tapping down. Okay, there's going to be land here. We're going to do water, don't worry. I just want some land in front of it first, though. It looks more like my picture. Okay, and these are farther back. And we're just blocking in color, right? See that? Down here, just push up. Don't worry. I'm still using that green, crimson, and whatnot. Okay, and it gives you that there. So you've got some good looking trees in there. Now who's bugging me? Okay, good. Okay, and we want it like that. Now we're going to have some good color in there. So let's bring it to there. Oh yeah. Okay, and then we're going to have some here. We're going to have some that comes into here. This is going to come out here. And there's our water. We have little puddles. You can just bring that down. We're just blocking in color, right? I'm just going to mix it all on the brush. And when you're blocking in these base colors, you can get Prussian blue, you can get that sap green, you can get some red in there, you get some brown in there. Okay? Lots of paint. Look at that. Lots of paint. And we're just going to come down here. Okay? Because it's getting closer. We want to have it darker, a little lighter up there. Keep tapping, okay? There, more of that. Maybe it comes up a little. Okay, and then we're just going to have little, this is going to come down. We're just going to have little puddles in this one. Okay, little puddles. Close it in. Okay, darker towards the horizon, as it gets closer to you. That'll give you depth, just like in the sky. Darker and farther it gets, it's going to get a little different color. Okay, now we're going to come down here and close that in. Maybe there's a little bit there, puddle. This is kind of neat when you do this. Then you come through here. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, there's our puddles. And I'll show you how we can do those. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we block that in. I'm going to grab another, and here you can get, there's several different types of brushes you can use, but I'm just going to try to get something like this one. It's just a flat brush, and it's not a bristle. It's very soft. But we're just going to come right in here, pull down a little bit. Okay, where these are. Pull down just a little, and you're going to pull some of that in where the water is going to be. Okay, there. So you got a little reflection in there, and then you're going to come back. We're going to use this one, soft brush, and you're going to go this way. Okay, watch, and I'll give you some little reflections. You got to go super soft though. Okay, I'm over here. So it gives you a little watery look. Now you can't really see that, but it's going to have a nice little glare. But here's where we're going to come in with a little, we're going to use a little palette knife. So the next thing I want you to do is grab one here. This will work. And we're going to take some white. Okay, just put a little white on the palette and put a little brown in there. Okay, maybe a little more brown. Okay. bad. So it's not, you want to dull it down a little bit. Maybe a little red in there. I don't know. Okay. Now it's going to be kind of thick because I don't need paint thinner in it. And then you're just going to come across and grab a little bit on the tip. And then you just find out where you want where the top of your water is. And just grab and pull lightly. See that? Okay. Don't get in a hurry. Come back in. Pull down. Go like that. See there's stuff on there? You can wipe it off. If you think you don't like the way it is, just wipe it off. Over here, keep these flat. There. There. You don't need to hit every spot either. There. Okay. Over here, maybe it's right there. Just be loose. There. So you got your little watery looking things there. And maybe this one comes over here a little more. You just don't know. A little bit right there. Yeah. You can put little things in there. Make it look. Don't overdo. What you'll do is you'll get too much. And it happens, but that's alright. Maybe you want to put a little right in there. Okay, get you a little bit in there and just go back and forth. Kind of bring it down. Do stuff like that. And there's your kind of your water. So easy, and then you can just leave that the way it is. Now we're finishing up here. I'm gonna grab some more of that dark on my brush, and you can push this way. You'll learn fast when you're doing this painting technique. You can throw those up. See that? Push up, gives you little grassy things. That's a little farther, so maybe we won't mess with that one. But what you're going to find out is when you're doing wet on wet, and when it starts to dry, if you don't want to wait for it to dry, sometimes you have to just blast paint on. So now I'm going to take, I know what I'm going to use here for some of this. I got a filbert brush hiding somewhere here. And this will work. This is a small filbert brush. Bristle hard. So I'm going to get some, we need some, now we got to put some highlights on. So we need some bright colors. So I'm going to, brighter color I should say. So I'm going to grab some yellow and put it over here. Okay, I'm going to get some just bright yellow on here, and I'm going to come back here and grab some of this, get some of that yellow, maybe a little of that sap green mix. Okay, and it's pretty limey. If it's too much, you can dull it with a little brown, maybe a little ochre in there too. Do you see that? There, that's what I want. Push up, but I'm going to come back here if you want and kind of make some bland back here. You can come back and just go back and forth, because that's a little closer. And there, that kind of shoots that back, doesn't it? Got a little more for up front here. And maybe come up here. Right? This is all flatland back there. There's a field. That's what I'm trying to do, is show you where that's coming in. Kind of. See, this, and when you're doing this, and that comes over here, under these trees, you got to think of shadows too, though. If it gets too yellow, just mix some brown, or you can get some more green in there. Just whatever. It's kind of bright though. There, a little brown, and this field comes all the way over, right to there. So see how you kind of want it. You want to go in that way. You kind of want it coming down. You don't want to frown. We'll talk about that. But there, right to the front of those little guys there, and then you've got that. So as it gets closer, you got that in there, and down at the base of these trees, but you got that there, and it just kind of comes around and goes back there. And there's some little things just work the bristles. Hopefully my head's not in the way. Okay, just have fun there, because it's not going to be a flat line. There's going to be a little stuff in there. There's your trees. You got some distant stuff. Some of them look a little funny, but now I'm going to take a clean another fan brush. Okay, and we got to put some highlights on these trees. Now remember we'll put some darks, and you can shadows and stuff, but I'm going to grab the yellow brush. This right here. Get a little yellow ochre down there. Some green. Keep in mind, it's going to mix with the green that's on there, and it's going to give you it's going to make the color a little different. So we're just kind of do that. See? Whoosh it in there. There. And sometimes you need to have, today will be fine, but normally you want to have, you're going to have to put some paint thinner on there. Okay? Over here. Put some highlights on these. Just come down and just hit one side. I'm trying to make this easy. And just be random. Okay? If you want to throw a little paint thinner on there, you can. It's already mixing with the green. You know, just come down and be random. Just tapping sideways. It's picking up a lot of paint. It's wet on wet. Okay? I think it's getting too yellowy. Get some green in there. Okay, get some green in there. That will make it a little lighter. There, see? That's color. And just tap. Don't overdo. Just kind of come and go fast. Okay? There. So you got, they look like trees. And over here, a little bit. You know, just some little ones. There. There. Don't worry about those distant ones. We'll just leave them. Maybe a little bit. You can go like that a little bit. There. There. So you've got, we kind of covered up our grass, didn't we, and everything. Not a big deal. Now what you can do here, and this is another thing, if it looks like it's too, you know, you don't have an, it looks too light down there, you come in the bottom and grab and pull up with some dark. See? I'm just grabbing that dark paint I use and grabbing the bottom, pulling up. Kind of gives you a little separation there. Over here, same thing. Pull up, and it kind of gives you your trees. Because usually with trees, as it gets closer to the bottom, you run into more shadows and stuff. So let's see, maybe over here, there's a little shadow because this light's come from this way. So maybe this little guy, there's a little shadow that comes out there. See, you can tap below, or you can tap underneath here. You know, it doesn't matter. Shadow there, maybe there's some shadow over here. We can bring that down. You know, underneath the trees. It just, you know, mix some color. If you have too much of the same color in one spot, it doesn't look right. So you can throw in some darker. Maybe you want a little darker in there in some spots down here. See? If it's too light, come back in and darken it. These shadow colors at the bottom. You just tap. There, see? Get some of that in there. You get some blue. Kind of gives them a little more shadowy color. You can work them over. And I don't want this painting to be difficult. You know, I'm trying to do easy strokes and stuff, but that gives you an idea of how it goes. Now, let's get busy. A mount on there, right into here. And it's because this paint is thick. Okay, we're just going to push up. I'm going to come down here and, okay, we're going to come in here and just kind of, we're going to start up in here and just put some little tapping. Okay, you can kind of see the difference. You can see where it's closer. Okay, maybe over here, just tap. And don't kill all your dark. This is just grass here. Okay, you can bring a little of that back into there. Okay, I'm just pushing. Remember the sunlight. There's different things. Now over here, we're going to probably have some shadows. But we want to kind of make it a little bit there. This is, maybe the sun's beaten down here. And leave some dark at the bottom. And this is just highlights, you know. I'll show you what we can do. Here. Can you see how you can add some white to that if you want. You see how there. Maybe it's flat here, but you got the foreground's a little lighter. Looks like some nice sun coming through. Okay, you can come in here and grab the brush and go this way. Remember how I got those little things? Yeah, be careful though. Sometimes they can be difficult. Okay, and you can pull them up maybe, like that. Put some little things going up. We can grab a liner brush, Just push up a little bit. There. Down below you might have some larger stuff right in front of you. Just kind of pull up, little angles, so it gives you grass looking stuff. And if it gets too bright, you can grab the dark brush and come in here and, you know, or go this way, you know. Get those corners and bases dark. See how I'm just pushing, and then you can pull up a little bit. It's wet on wet, and you'll figure it out. You know, when you get there, you'll be like, okay, I need to. You'll learn different techniques and stuff. So you can see the brushes we've used and that there, and we can come back in here and pull some of that down. Just lightly, maybe it goes like this. You got your trees in there. This one's here a little bit. But it looks, you know, that's kind of what I'm looking for as the painting goes. You can do this painting. It's doable, and it's easy, and you can do it over and over and over again if you want to. Okay. At first it might be a little difficult. Now I'm going to use this. Watch this. See, pull that paint up. There's no better liner brush than my opinion, than using a palette knife. Littler here, you know, farther away up there, but you can pull these up, pull them down. Maybe there's some long ones right there. I don't know. Try not to let it slide like I did, but it just gives you an idea. Some cool stuff there. Okay, and then you can grab some darker brown. Okay, not too dark. And then I'm just going to come in and do some of these. Maybe there's some. I'm going to put in some little. And I'm just grabbing some brown, just like I did the water. I'm sliding over. Brown and white, you know, a little dark. See that? Just putting little chunks in there. You can pull up or down, doesn't matter. Okay, over there, maybe start with the bottom when they're lower. The bigger ones you can use the middle. Down here, be careful. Come from the top. You can lighten some of them if you want. See that? Put a little light on there. I'm using the color I used there. Don't do too many though. And you can scrape them down. There could be some dead trees in there. You know, over here might be something. You can pull that up. Okay. We're not after perfection, okay? There. We're not after perfection. We're just trying to learn some easy painting techniques. And this, you know, is a painting of somebody's backyard, but you can take, as far as the composition, it's just the way that it ended up. So I'll finish these off. You want to make these trees look a little better. See what you can do? There. It's hard to get those little points on there. And you can just pull those up. See? Just go slow. Don't rush. There, get them a little. Ooh. And when you're doing this, that'll happen. You'll have you'll slide your, it happens to all artists and painters, but you'll slide your hand over and there. Just a little bit. Take that one, bring them up, so you get the little points on there, you know. And back in there you can do some things, and okay, well, I don't know. What did you think? I think we talked about the painting. I'm going to go over it really quick here, and then we're going to be done. Let's talk about what we did. Started with the sky, worked forward. We want it lighter towards the horizon, okay? And we've got the mountains we did. The clouds came in, we blended them. Remember the mountains, you know, every time there's a peak, the sun's probably going to reflect on that. The easiest way is to put little peaks in and split the mountain in half. You can do a wiggly line, see? And then you can bring that over. See these distant ones? Soft, gray, blue. They're farther back. And then here, you just pull your angles down and just be soft. And then as you come forward, you find a horizon line. Now, smaller trees, you can put bigger trees in front of it. Remember, when you start putting these trees in front of a lot of paint, they're going to mix with what's back there. So you really don't need a lot down here. If you're doing the mountain, you don't need to drag it down too far. But by misting the base of these and lightening them up and kind of blending and softening that, it made these trees stick out farther, right? And then here we just wiggled, you know, back and forth with the brush. There's grass back there, but it's farther, so it doesn't need to be as detailed. And you've got some shadows over here, remember? Shadows underneath, and, you know, different things there. You can put some, we could have put some dark on here, on the lip of where the water is. You know, that would always, could help too. But, you know, I didn't do that. You can watch here, I'll kind of show you what I mean. Just grab some dark blue, green, you know, just a dark color. Brown, just a dark, and you could have come in here and above the water line you can put a little dark in there where the edge is. And then, oops, and I see, you got to be careful, I just stuck my hand in there. And then you can sign it when you're ready. Today I got to get to work, so am I in the way? But see how that dark can come in there? Get some dark, and you can use a knife just to. But that just gives you a little idea where maybe there's a little water line there. These little ponds and stuff, but it'll make it stand out a little bit better. Okay, and this, sometimes I'll let stuff dry too, and I'll finish it later. There, see that? Little water lines, little edge there that's going down. So when that happens, there's going to be a shadow casted down there. Oh, got my finger in there again. There. So, but that's okay. What you can do is I'll wipe off my hand. Listen, watch. Pretty easy. And then I'm not going to sign this one right now, but hopefully you liked that one. If you did, comment, share. If you'd like, appreciate the comments on everything. But also, if you're going to try this, let me know if you want to see something else. But this actually turned out to be a really soft little painting, and the next one I can do, I'd like to use some. I'd like to come in and use some a palette knife to do the mountains. It's much harder, but it's easy. I mean, it's easier on bigger mountains. But you can come in and use the palette knife, for instance. Maybe I want to lighten. Do a little more on there. Just to show you what I'm talking about. Get a little brown, maybe a little yellow ochre in there. And you can come in here and go like this. Watch this. And it's just a little bit on the end, and it gives you good detail. You know, right here you can come in and just pull that down. Get a little of that in there. See? And you can come in and just little things like that if you want a little more color in there. That's pretty bright, but you know what I wanted. But you can come in and see, just let it break, and you can get so much more with a knife. You know, maybe see those little highlights on there? Doesn't look too bad. Get a little more right on this one. Watch this. That'll really make it stand out. See that little peak there? Just touching. Okay, you want to leave it break so you can. It's too bright. I'm just grabbing a little bit. And this one here, we can come in and make it, wiggle it back and forth. It's almost completely flat. There. And then just have some fun there. Okay? So there, that's another thing you can do, and it just adds a little more light to it, and I think that looks all right. So thanks again for watching. Have a good day, and we'll see you when we see you.